where we will go. But I have decided I will follow Jesus anywhere he leads us. That's where we will go. Where we will go.
A lot better than this time last year. You're very welcome. It's good to have you guys. It's been an incredible journey. Thank you for having us. Can't get away from why.
Text when you're like maybe a bit away.
So like, you know, her hard for some. We did it, Joel.
The picture was always God was going to move across these nations, the British Isles. The UK and Ireland was going to change, and the Send had a part to play, but I just didn't expect it to be like this. This bubbling groundswell of like awakening is happening, and we got to be part of it.
People in Britain are losing faith. More people than ever have described themselves as having no religion.
Christians are in a minority now in England and Wales.
The first time non-believers have overtaken those with faith. But
Less than 2% of the UK and Ireland church was made up of 16 to 25-year-olds. The state of the UK church in the next 10 years of that looked quite bleak, if I'm honest.
The highest number of people who say they don't have a religion, that's in the 18 to 24 bracket.
I look at the history of the Celtic church, the saints, St Patrick, St Aidan, St Cuthbert, the Hebridean revival, incredible women contending in prayer, the Welsh revival, Evan Roberts, the Cambridge Seven, C.T. Studd, Hudson Taylor. Like, with that history, if God's done it now, do it again, Lord. So the Send Norway was June 2022, I think.
There is a generation arising in this nation that is not ashamed of the gospel.
Honestly, I was kind of blown away by what I saw. There was 9,000 people, young adults, gathered in Oslo, and that's what gripped me.
Norway! Is there another missions movement in our future?
And this conversation began from that point of seeing what was possible in the nation and asking the question, what would it look like if the UK and Irish Church said, we are going to take seriously the emerging generation, to raise them to be missional leaders and to step into their missional calling. And then the Send, literally, like in their remit, is seeking to do that. Not that the Send is the answer to the UK and Ireland, saving a whole generation, but actually a catalyst and a spark to begin that conversation and maybe shift it.
Guys, let's go look at this place. It's amazing. We cannot wait to see you.
We wrestled with, do we try and hire Wembley Stadium, just go all in on one stadium? In conversations with the Send Global team, really weighing up what would it look like if we were to go regional and do larger gatherings in each region, in England, Scotland, Northern Ireland, Ireland and Wales.
Without you, every little thing in life is purposeless. Harsh, but it's true. I'd be lying if I said the world satisfied my thirst. And I wanna go singing
Someone gave me this picture very early on when they were praying for me, and they said they saw a jumbo jet flying through the air across the UK and Ireland. I was like, oh, that must be the Send, like having this big effect. And then they said, no, just behind this jumbo jet was this really small single propeller engine plane that was kind of following in the wake of this big jumbo jet. And they said, the Lord is going to move in this nation and the Send is going to come and be part of that, but it's not the answer. And that's the role of the Send across the UK and Ireland, has been to act as a catalyst, to change the narrative and say this is possible, to call a generation all in. The Send said to a generation this thing of, you know, the mantle of Billy Graham to be on a generation, and my goodness, we've seen that.
Since Send in 2024 in the Over Arena, that really ignited the flames of doing evangelism. I decided to go to my pastor and ask my pastor if I could set up like an evangelism department.
Us, young people, older people, adults, everyone, anyone who has a passion for Jesus, we're here and we're just trying to spread what has changed our lives and set us free.
When I was at the Send, I told God, like, you know, I'm going to evangelize. Like, that was actually like a little seed or a starting point to a lot of things that came afterwards.
I see like these young kids, like they're 11, they're 10, they're 12, like they don't know God. And then I can see them fall in love with God over the next few months, and it's absolutely amazing to see. And you can see that in their outreach, because they want to talk about Him and they want to share Him, and they want people to know God the way they do.
I was just kind of going to church every week, and I think I was probably in a bit of a rut of my faith. And then I came to this event, and it just really empowered me to like go and talk about my faith more at school. Me and my friend who I came with, we set up a Christian union at our school, which didn't exist before.
We went on a summer outreach in Wales, and the kids were so passionate to go evangelize. You're just struggling to keep a track because everybody's wanting to go like talk to people.
Throughout Northern Ireland and Ireland, I've seen God work in the young people's lives and just send a revival in the young people. We think God's really stirring up a revival in young people for boldness and for people that aren't ashamed of the gospel.
I feel like I'm just seeing so many more people searching for something and just coming to Jesus, and I'm really excited to see what God's going to do in like the next few years. Like, I'm so excited.
If we look back 2 years ago, the narrative, the story of the UK church was not where it is today.
Reports of revival are spreading across the United Kingdom. The movement is marked by an increase in prayer.
It is a sovereign work of the Lord across the UK and Ireland, and it's not isolated to one place. Like, is this kind of groundswell bubbling? And I think some of the Send's part in that has been to call the church and call people that we've been connected to, and particularly a generation, to say this is possible with God. Something could shift in this land.
I'm super excited for tonight. As you guys know, 2 years ago we had our first event here. So it's great just to look back and see what God has done through the Send, through each one of you as well.
I saw us collectively cracking a jar of perfume over the Lord's feet. And the Lord said, I want you to minister to me so that we can minister to the world. That's what the Lord said. So I just want us to
I remember speaking to a group of, it was mainly teen but young leaders as well, and saying it is wild that the Lord wants us in this moment. God ordained, in His time, in His control, said, now is the time, and I want you to be alive and awake to who I am in this moment for the sake of the UK church. And it's been crazy. And He has blown my expectations of what we would do. It's blown my mind what He's done with us, with our yes. So.